Hello everybody, welcome to the ELLYACADEMY's channel made for who wanna be above the average. And today gonna talk about fault tolerance. That's because Elixir have reputations for tremendous fault tolerance, and this is well deserved, and now you're gonna know why. So let's go. Yeah, my friends, Elixir got that reputation and is a very welcome reputation. But where did it come from? What's the difference between Elixir and Java and C# that also have built-in tools to handle exceptions? So first things first, the fault tolerance system that we are using in Elixir comes from Erlang OTP. And that explains a lot, because back in time with the OTP team at Ericsson, they were creating systems for telephones, and phones need to work no matter what, even in the event of a natural disaster. So considering that the OTP team could not afford the technology that looked at exceptions the way others do, they needed something different. So they come up with an approach based on these three ideas. 1. Most runtime errors are transient and happen because of a bad state. 2. The best way to fix a bad state is to let the process crash and restart with a good state. 3. Restarts works best on systems that have a small independent process. The team knew that it's impossible to predict all possible failures, so they decided to focus on recovering, and now we will create a little experiment so you can see how it looks like in code. Let's do the screen code. So we are here at my code screen, and before getting to the code, I'll show you my example running so you can understand the behavior of the supervisor, okay? In that simple sample that I created, we have a server and we have a client. The supervisor will start the server, and in a specific moment that server will raise an error and the process will crash. I created that server to take 2 seconds before restart again, so you can perceive the problem here that is happening when the server is down. So let's run that with mix run, okay, and see how the things happen. So I am starting server, the client send messages, and boom, you have exception, the server is out. But after 2 seconds, the server starts to process the messages again. So here we have the server starting, okay, the client send a message and the server process that message. But when the client send the message 3, the server raise an error, and the supervisor call the server to start again. In this middle time, the client keeps sending messages, and boom, when the server starts again, the server can process the messages no problem. So let's check the code for that. So now is the show me the code time. I have here in my project 2 files to represent my client and my server. My client is a very simple module with one function that will call my server in a recursive way. But my server, they're more interesting code. Here we are using a Gen server that is part of the OTP framework, and is a very important part here that is what enabled me to create a server, okay, that will be supervised by my supervisor. And the magic happens when you define a supervisor, and that happens here in the application file. In the application file, you have a function called start, and that function will be called when we run the project. And here we are creating a supervisor and passing for that supervisor a list of children. And in this list, we are specifying that my server will be part of this list. Okay, so once the supervisor starts, he will start my server too, and will start to supervise the process in my server. Anytime that something happened to my server, the supervisor will call my server to start again. And there are a lot of configurations that you can do to modify that behavior, but for now you just need to understand that you have a supervisor that will take care of the process of my server. So that's it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please take a moment to give your like and subscribe to the channel if you want. See you in the next week.